5:59, which is 6 o'clock in my books. So, all right, we're gonna start. All right, welcome everybody to Fursuit Posing 101. I ran a variation of this panel before last year at Furry Migration. You guys know, it's my local con, but I was co-running it with my buddy Drake Fox, and it was a good idea initially, but it was talking more about the relationship between photographers and fursuiters, how it's like a co-working effort to get really good fursuit photos out there. In concept, it was a good idea, and I think it ran really well. I knew when I wanted to do this panel again for Megaplex, I wanted to revise it a little bit, so it was a little more fursuiting focused. That being said, if you are a photographer in the room, or you're someone who likes to take photos of fursuiters, that's going to be fully welcome. So we'll be having some of y'all who are willing participants to come up a little later on and do some nice poses for us. That being said, I do have a few things I wanted to get over, because I think whenever we talk about fursuiting, there's a lot of specific things that kind of go into it that I feel like never really get addressed. And part of the reason that I was actually really inspired to make this panel is because, not only because of that, but fursuiting is actually the thing that really got me into the fandom. So I would say about 4 years ago, I was kind of starting to get into furry culture. I didn't really I already considered myself furry, but I wasn't really that deep into it yet. And the thing that changed that was I went to a convention, not a furry convention. It was back in my competitive esports days. But there was actually someone there that I met who went and competed in Fursuit. And without realizing it, I would have, I guess, what you would call a bit of a furry awakening. But it was more like, it was my first time seeing a fursuiter up close and personal like that. And so I took the opportunity to pull them aside and ask them to take a photo with me. And at that moment, there was this childlike glee that sparked in me. And before I knew it, I was really interested in wanting to get to know who this person was. Because it wasn't just a character, it was a person willingly dressed up as this giant cartoony character. And it was surreal. And the thing is too, is it really started to help me out of my social bubble. I really started to connect with people after that, and it really made my confidence grow. So, and I think that's really important too when we get into this, because I think whenever we talk about the magic of fursuiting, it's kind of an abstract idea. I think sometimes we can think of it as just whenever I like to talk about fursuits, I think they're more than just costumes. They're more than just cosplay. And they're more than just wearable art. It's all those things, but it's more than that. Whenever I think about the magic of fursuiting, I think about it as joy, love, creativity, comfort, artistic freedom, character, and a lot. You can probably think of a lot more than that. So those are usually the things that come to mind. And these were all aspects that were really the thing that drew me further into the fandom, and eventually made me want to get a fursuit of my own. So as luck would have it, I would have the chance back in 2022 to commission my own fursuit. That is Joseph right here. So yeah, so I got a full suit of Joseph, and it was one of the best moments of my life, I'd say. Although, so it's an interesting story. I got my fursuit at the beginning of 2023, and I had gotten really inspired to perform. There were fursuiters, if any of you guys know, some of the old classics, like Yippee Coyote was a big inspiration for me. Another big inspiration is someone you probably already know. If you know what the guest of honor is, it's Dingaroo, big inspiration for me to get into fursuiting. Other fursuiting, Chipper Wolf, you guys any know who Chipper is? Absolute big fan of Chipper. And the thing is about all these people is they're all a big part of what made me really desire to get into character performance. But the thing is like it was kind of like I just looked at them, and there was this kind of idea of like I want to be like them almost. And so it was, long story short, it was a double-edged sword, because what happened is for the first few months of me fursuiting, I was basically doing everything I could to find ways to perform. I was going to every furry event I possibly could. I was getting in every photo I possibly could. And I was making TikToks for myself. I basically created this whole identity, this whole gimmick for myself. I remember, this is something that if you ever ask any of my fellow Minnesota locals, I was really well known for taking the cereal box of Reese's Puffs and bringing it around with me to every event. How many of you guys like Reese's Puffs? Okay, that's a lot of you. But guess what? Joseph loved Reese's Puffs more than all of you. It was so much a part of my scheme that I loved everything about Reese's Puffs, and that was my whole, whole identity, whole gimmick. And along with that and all the TikToks I was making, I felt like things were going really well. And then suddenly 3 months in, I didn't care about fursuiting anymore. It was like putting on the suit and I guess getting into, what at the time felt like the magic of fursuiting, it just wore off. It's gone. And it was really sad for me because I cared about fursuiting. I cared about performing. I didn't want to just let it go. But I couldn't stand the fact that I just felt this really apathetic way about suiting. So I kind of took it slow from there. From like doing everything involving suiting, I kind of just took a step back to still go to events, but less frequently. I started talking in suit, which I wasn't doing at first. I was silent suiting at first. And over time, I kind of just slowly changed things about my character that made suiting still a very enjoyable thing, but still find a way that I could be performative and be creative. And so essentially, a lot of what I'm going to teach you guys is going to come from that. So now I think one of the things that I find troublesome when people teach about fursuit performance is it's usually very external. So it's usually, you're going to hear things like, in fact, I think I'm going to have you guys answer for me because you guys probably know maybe some of these. But if you were to give someone an answer on what they think it would take to be great at performing, or I guess since this is a posing panel, what they think it would take to pose well in suit, what do you think that would be? Yeah.
Exaggerated movements.
Yeah, exaggerating movements. All right. Anyone else? Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. Exaggerating movements. So the thing is about that is actually really common advice for fursuiting. And all things considered, it's good advice. Like, I personally think you should exaggerate. I think it's going to really help emphasize a lot about your character. But the problem is that it's very externally sound. So the idea is like you can exaggerate as much as you want, but if you don't actually know what you are actually interested in fursuit for, then a lot of the advice you'll get that's kind of that external drive will start to get really shaky. Or it might not even stick around at all. It might be like, oh man, like I need to exaggerate, but I just don't feel right, you know? And so I think we really need to ask ourselves, like, what do we actually care about when it comes to fursuiting? Like, what actually speaks to us? Because, you know, one of the things, again, that's really beautiful about fursuiting is it's really authentic. We're not just cosplaying or modeling existing characters. We're bringing our own characters to life. So, and I think part of the reason that people think this way is because back in the old days of the fandom, fursuiting was a lot less common, but the people that did fursuit were very dedicated to the art of performance. So pretty much most of, if not everybody, was a full suitor back in the day. They almost exclusively silent suited. They didn't take their heads off in public. If you ever wonder why we have headless lounges, it's not just to be able to like rest while you're suiting. It's so that you can safely take your head off without quote unquote breaking the magic. And so there's a lot of things that are kind of like that still, but have changed over time, because as more fursuiters have come into the scene and as fursuiting has become a lot more accessible, there is part of our culture that has shifted from the art of performing in suit to fursuiting being more of kind of a fashion statement. And to be fair, I just want to say there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with using your suit for any way you want to. But I think, again, that's something we need to address, because when people usually teach about fursuit performance, it typically comes from that old school model. And I kind of want to tackle that a little bit, because not only do I want to spark a newfound sense of creativity in all of you guys, but I also want to spark it in people that may have already had a strong sense of performance, but are looking to find something new, perhaps. So that being said, though, if you are actually interested in mascot performance, this might not actually be the panel for you. And I'm saying that wholeheartedly because what I really want for all of you guys is to find a way to perform and pose in suit that doesn't feel like you're working so hard to be something you're not, but you're actually working really hard to be something that you already are, which you're going to find out is a lot easier when you know what it is. So, the title of this panel is, in its full wording, is Fursuit Posing 101, Posing with Confidence. What does it mean to be confident? Well, what is it that you value? That's what you need to ask. How do you know what you value? It's something that you care about, and it isn't going to diminish over time, like me with the Reese's Puff or the TikTok thing. It's going to be something you care about. That means something personal to you. It's going to last for a long period of your life. Maybe it even lasts your whole life. And so what happens is when you're confident is you align with your values and you bring that out. Maybe it's not easy at first. If it's your value, if it's something you care about, then you're really going to start to express confidence. So, all right, let me collect my thoughts here. Okay, so to bounce off of that, so people tell you things like exaggerate yourself more, be more outgoing, always be moving and stuff like that, and then maybe that doesn't resonate with you. And then people will kind of bounce off of that with another word of advice that I think is also kind of abstract. They'll say, be yourself. And that's also kind of abstract because the problem is like, who are you? And I don't know how many of you would be willing to admit this, but chances are you probably got a fursuit because you wanted to be something better than yourself. So that advice can kind of start to fall flat a little bit too. That's why I think actually understanding what your values are is a lot more foundational, because when who you are is aligned with what you care about, especially when it comes to fursuiting, it's going to be a lot more fun to fursuit. I realize a lot of this goes into the topic of fursuiting and identity, and I know we don't have a lot of time to get into identity here, but the thing I worry about more as our fandom grows and the more fursuiters that come along, that a lot of us, we get a fursuit and we put so much time, effort, and energy into getting one, only to get one and to feel like it didn't actually live up to our expectations. Because that's exactly what I went through. And I'm thankful that I found a way that worked for me, that I can enjoy shooting. But I really want to help you guys find that way for yourself as well. So, I realize that was a lot there, but is there any questions on that? Okay. All right, cool. I hope we're keeping up all along the line. So, okay, wow. Yeah. So, we're gonna get to the fun part soon. Oh, one other thing I wanted to share. So, I think when it also comes to fursuiting, I think we always talk about like, don't care about what others say. And I think that's true, but I guess just to be a little more specific on that, I think one thing that we as a community and a culture might need to learn how to tolerate is actually like learning to tolerate what it feels like when you go out there in suit and maybe you do a pose or perform or something and maybe it doesn't like get the kind of expectation that you're hoping for. And I know that happens to people sometimes, because again, it's happened to me. And I just want you guys to be aware of how easy it gets for your mind to think very externally about it. Like, if I had only been at the right place at the right time, if I only had the right photographer, if I only had the right looking fursuit, if I only was better at getting into my character, if I had enough followers on social media, if I had enough friends that could fursuit with me, you know, these are all things that really can start to poison the mind a little bit, especially with fursuiting. So I just want you guys to be aware that those might be things that happen, and I guarantee you that none of them can actually stop you from enjoying fursuiting. So, in my opinion, you become your character the moment you put on your suit. You become artistic and creative the moment you put on your suit. And you become a performer the moment you put on your suit. So anyone who tells you that you need to perform in a way to become your character, it's actually reverse. It's you become your character and you perform the way that your character is. And maybe it doesn't look as well as you hoped at first, but that's okay. That's why we're doing this. We're gonna do this little exercise. So we're gonna have people come up and do poses for us because, you know, it's always fun to see what people do, even if it doesn't look the most fabulous. That's okay. We all have our things to learn and to climb up. So, you know, it's okay if you aren't like a perfect poser or a fursuiter. I really want to make this welcoming and enjoyable for you guys, you know, and let yourself really just get into it, not feeling like you have to be somebody else. All right. So, there is a fursuiter who goes by the name of Croc, and he is someone who has once shared that he was worried that the content he wanted to make wasn't going to appease to a mass audience of furries. And this was during the time that I was really struggling with my fursuiting endeavors, so I really resonated with that. And thankfully, he ended up coming out with a video. You can find it on YouTube. It is called The Joy of Painting by Epic Tail Pictures. It's a 2-minute video. It's just this Bob Ross parody type video. Just really sweet and silly. It's one of my favorite fursuit videos ever. And so that kind of goes to show that maybe those are the kind of things that won't garner a lot of attention or a lot of praise from people. But if it's just one person looks at it, even if you never know who they are, if you can just acknowledge the fact that maybe out there somebody acknowledges you and sees you even from a distance, then it's worth it to pursue. So, yeah. So, all right. Any questions on that still? Are we all getting it here? Mm-hmm. All right, cool. All right, so let's actually talk about posing. So the reason this is Fursuit Posing 101 and not Performance 101 is because posing, again, was kind of how this started originally as a panel. And I think the thing that's nice about posing is fursuits by nature are very photogenic. And generally speaking, if you wear a fursuit, it's not hard for people to want to stop and take photos of you. And chances are you've probably had that, or you've probably been a part of photos at least. So posing is something that's great, even if it's just like, again, we're not talking about like model mascot type fursuits where it's like you're a superstar. It's like you already have like probably a suit that looks amazing. And for the record, I think all of you guys in here, your suits look amazing. So if you guys think your fursuits are never good enough for photos, I can tell you right now, it's not the case. So, but generally speaking, if you can learn how to pose well in suit and enjoy doing it, then performance from there is not going to be that much harder. So, yeah, that'll be fun. So let's talk about posing a little bit. So, this is originally, I would say a complicated process. The original version of this panel had 4 types of poses, but I realized even then there was a lot that kind of felt like it could have been merged together. So I simplified it a little more. So it's actually 2 types of poses. And so I know I just told you guys about how, like, you know, a lot of fursuiting is authenticity, and a lot of the advice I'm going to give you guys is actually pretty external here. So that's why we kind of started with that, so you guys have that foundation for yourselves. But the reason we do this is because, you know, evidently fursuit posing, I still do think, is a skill in a lot of ways. So, so the better you can learn stuff, better it will be for you. But, sorry, let me track back here. All right, how many guys draw? Okay, a lot of you. Wow, I'm an artist in this. That's awesome. Yeah. So, one thing that's really true about drawing is it essentially takes no rules to draw. Like, you literally could just get a piece of paper, get a pencil, and just draw. Now, you can just stick drawing like that all the time if you want to, and you can probably even improve that way. But what essentially is going to help you improve is learning stuff about drawing that are going to essentially sharpen your skills. But they're not absolutes, because there's no real right or wrong way to draw. In that same way, there's no real right or wrong way to pose in suit, as long as you're appropriate, you know. I think that's a given. I think we all can trust to be appropriate in the appropriate spaces. But for the most part, there's no right or wrong way to fursuit. So having these skills is beneficial, but they're not absolutes. And so I just don't want you guys to think that anything I'm teaching here is something that you need to follow or it's going to be worse off for you. I wanted to inspire you and help you give ideas for yourself. And having that framework is good, because the next time you go out and you pose, you won't freak out trying to figure out what pose to do. You'll have a general idea of what you want to do. And it's okay if you're not comfortable with it, or if you do a pose and you look at it later and you cringe at it, it looks awful, that's okay, you know? Happens all the time, you know? I'm pretty sure every single fursuit out there has a photo of them that they probably don't like, that they see posted online somewhere. It just happens, all right? So, that being said, yeah, so let's talk about the poses. So, from my experience, I have deduced that fursuit poses typically fall into 2 categories. The first one being model posing, the second one being action posing. All right, so we'll just repeat. We'll say that again. You guys say it with me. So model, and action. Awesome. All right, cool. Model posing is you're right here, camera's right here, looking right at you, posing for the camera. Simple enough. Essentially, model posing is going to capture your fursuit, your character, and it's going to tell whoever's looking at the picture that that photo, that pose is going to say something about you. Now, it'll say something about your character, but it might also say something about you too. That's why, again, we were talking about foundation earlier, about like values and stuff. Because if you really are strongly attached to your values, it's going to come out in your performance. And I can tell. Like, I've been around long enough that I see the way that fursuiters pose and move, and I can tell what their personality is like from their body language. You know? So, and that way, model posing can be kind of a pressure, but again, just gonna keep it lax. You know, it's something that we can kind of ease into, and the more confident we get with it, the more that we can start to really stand out with our poses. So that's model posing. Then action posing is I am in the picture, but the camera is focusing on everything around me. So it's like it's anything you're interacting with. It may be a prop, it may be a person, it might be just the environment. It's like maybe the con or nature or wherever you are. It's going to essentially tell a story. So in that sense, action posing can actually be quite simpler, since the pressure is not as much on you for your personality to come out, but it still might say something about your personality. Now, a great way to do action poses is usually with props. Now, I don't have any props with me, sadly, but the great thing is when you really open your mind up to what you can do with your surroundings, you'll start to learn that everything around you can be a prop. This table can be a prop. The chair can be a prop. The walls can be your prop. I can be your prop. Yeah, so
So hopefully you kind of get that. Is there any questions on that, either model or action? Okay. The last thing I'll say before I invite people up is another really important thing. So we kind of already covered exaggerating. Like exaggerating is important. So like, you know, a good way to exaggerate is like, I guess like, I like to do like head tilts because you always look 100 times cuter when you just like tilt your head. Yeah, a lot of you guys already do. It looks so cute.
Absolute fact.
Yeah, you can literally just do that forever and ever, and it'll never stop. Unless you don't want to hurt your neck, which then I understand. But I think, again, to kind of extend on that, body language is huge when you're fursuiting because you have the disadvantage in suit of essentially being this giant fluffy pillow. And so not only do you kind of lack facial expression generally in poses because your suit head is almost always making the same expression. And you can kind of mess with angles a little bit, but generally it's going to be like the same types of expressions. But also, the best way I can explain this is there's kind of advantage like that like the human body has to being able to like really show like which direction like the limbs and everything are moving, which you kind of lose a little bit of in a fursuit, especially if it's a full suit. You kind of lose a little bit of that advantage, but that's where body language becomes really important. So like exaggerating yourself to let people know exactly what pose you're trying to do comes more from just like really digging into the pose. So if you ever like have an idea for a pose and you ever think it looks too silly of an idea, I guarantee you it's probably not that silly. There's probably no pose you can do that'll ever be too silly for a fursuit picture. So if you ever think that you're overextending it, you're probably not. So, but body language is key in that. So think of every single limb of your body as like an instrument for the pose, because every single direction it goes is going to matter. And again, to kind of quote Yubi Coyote here, he always says like this pose. So, you know, so you always got like asymmetry going on here, maybe a little bent of the knees. Stuff like that is always going to look more better than just like, yeah. So again, you can do this if you want. You can stand here if you want. But if you really want to consider improving in fursuit posing, I would encourage you guys to maybe look around at what other suitors are doing and maybe pick up on some ideas that they're doing that you can apply to your own suiting efforts. If you want to, again, this is all about like understanding what your values are. So just keep that in mind and everything will go hunky-dory. So, all right. Let's see, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, maybe we've got like 20 something fursuiters in here. So just raise your hands. How many guys would actually like to participate, like to come up here and do poses? For fursuiters only, sorry, not people. Okay, so we'll try to get as many people as we can. We got enough time, so I'll grab. I think right now we'll just grab 3 fursuiters to do model posing. So if you guys want to raise your hands again, try some model posing. All right. You already did one earlier, so I'm gonna grab you up. Let's see. You're good. Oh man. Oh, I feel so bad picking and choosing. All right. That's okay. Everyone's gonna get a chance to participate. All right. Oh, I see you in the back. You look really excited. Yeah. You back there. All right. If you guys actually wanna, you can stand over there. Well, in fact, that might be better. I just want. Yeah, that's good. Right there. So, and then we'll get some over here. Yeah, we'll get you up right there, Destin. Yeah, right there. Okay. I didn't actually mention it before, but you know, a lot of things too about fursuiting culture is you hear a lot of people say things about like, oh man, people are breaking the magic by like not wearing full suits or poodling. But we already talked about it before, about the magic. It's like love, joy, confidence, comfort, creativity, joy. None of those matter whether you're like full suit. So don't let everyone tell you that you're breaking the magic through like poodling. So it doesn't break the magic. Breaks the suspension of disbelief, sure, but not the magic. So, all right. So that being said, model poses. All right. Why don't you start? So just give us a model pose. So
Just like anything?
yeah, just yeah, anything like that you would pose if someone was taking a picture of you and the focus was directly on you. How would you pose for that? All right. Okay. So this is really cool. So yeah, once again, we get a little bit of asymmetry here, a little bit of head tilt, and a little bit of sass. I think that's kind of the impression that a lot of people would get from a pose like that. So yeah, awesome. All right. All right. Jasper is up next. So go ahead and I got the sass again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The hand on the hip. Always fabulous. And we got a little bit of paw here too. Yeah. Again, really good asymmetry. And even like, I think you can help with that is maybe you can just like, if you can, yeah, maybe, yeah, like that. And the nice thing about this too is you can even like move your head around a little bit. Like, yeah, like just tilt it, or you can even like, maybe even bring it to the other way. And yeah, you can get really good angles with that. Especially with the 3D eyes. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Jasper. All right. Sorry, what's your name right there? Daniel? All right, go ahead and strike a pose for us. Oh, the Karate Kid pose. Okay, so this is a great pose for people who are good at taking pictures real fast. Unless you're really good with your balance. But yeah, so that's really good. Yeah, those are really good also for various angles because you could either be doing a Karate Kid pose, or if somebody's trying to take a picture below, those could look like really good steppies. Yeah, awesome. All right, cool. So you guys can go ahead and take seats. Thank you. All right. Let's try. Let's see how much time. Yeah, we got time. All right. Why don't we try 3 more model poses actually? So we'll go ahead and everyone raise your hands. Okay. All right. Get you up green and black right there. Let's get some people in the back. I see someone raising their hands back there. That one in the blue, yeah, the purple. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Yeah. Why don't we get both of you up? Yeah. You guys are twinsies. All right. Sorry. Show of hands again. Just don't. I see. Oh, yeah. I see a doggo back there with a fan. Yeah, a fan on their mouth. Yeah. All right. Cool. You guys just want to move in here a little bit. Yeah, maybe scoot a little bit that way. Sorry, I know there's not a lot of space. I didn't decide the room, but except I kind of did. So, all right, cool. Are you guys like twins? Okay, wow, cool. Yeah. You know, honestly, you guys can pose individually if you want, but I'm actually curious. How would you guys like to both do a model pose together? Yes. Look at that. And see, even here, we still get a little bit of asymmetry. We got finger pointing out there, straight paw right there. Got a little bit of bend in the leg right there. This one, it's great with asymmetry, but it can also be great with symmetry because they're twins. So I'm actually, hold on, do that pose again. So actually, if you just want to bring your leg down there, well, you can spread them out. Kind of try to match each other. Yeah. So this can also be, yeah. It's like hard. If it wasn't for the glasses, it'd be hard to tell you guys apart. That's awesome. So again, always fun thing to experiment with. So, you know, you ever got an idea like that where it's like, oh wait, we look like each other? We can actually like do similar types of poses like that, you know? Yeah, but very cool. Thank you guys. All right. Yes. All right. Go ahead and strike a pose for us. Ooh, yeah, the peace sign. This is great. I love when you have fursuits that don't have paws that like mine, where I like to try to do a peace sign. It doesn't look like a peace sign at all. It's impossible. But yeah, when you got the thingies for it, yeah, it's great. So once again, hand on the hip always looks really nice. You can even bend one knee a little bit, like, yeah, if you want to. Again, always, whenever I say it, it's always a suggestion. So like, always feel like you can define my expectations. But that being said, yeah. So, And the nice thing about a lot of these poses too is that they're really casual poses. So if you ever think you need to like, I know we were talking about body language, but if you ever feel like you need to go like over the top for a pose, you don't always need to. Especially if it's like, if it's just a photographer and it's like, they're just like getting like a half body pose, it's like you don't need to worry about like all like the large stuff about like trying to make this really extravagant pose. You can just be like, yeah, I'm here, I'm casual. And you know, and maybe that's just how you stay. Maybe you're just casual with that, and that's fine, you know. There's a lot of ways, and that can look really cool too. So, thank you. All right, down go right up there. Let's see you. Mute, please. All right, cool. Go ahead and strike a pose for us. Oh yeah, this is stretching. I'm so sleepy, but I'm going to stretch because I'm in Fursuit and it feels so good. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, love that. Those are very good. So that's yeah. You guys can sit back down if you want. I just wanted to say poses like that too. Very good for verticality. So I guess photographers, you ever looking for like whenever you see Fursuit, you see that kind of pose. I usually for capturing their whole body because it really makes them look like tall and really gives a lot of height to the picture. So it can be great for like very like composition focused poses as well. So but yeah, all right. Let's do action poses now. I'm actually really curious to see how some of you will handle being in action poses because, again, I don't have any props with me, but like I said, anything can be your prop. So, that being said, don't break anything. Don't throw stuff. And yeah, if you follow that, then you'll be on my nice list. So, all right. So, show of hands again. Who wants to participate still? Who hasn't yet? All right. We'll get you up, Dragon. I know you've been waiting. Wow. Oh man. I'm gonna get you up back there in the red hair, the yellow, the very hairy suitor, red and yellow. Yeah. All right. Whoa. Oh man, so much pressure to choose a person. Okay. I've noticed you raised your hand. Blue, Dongo over there. Yeah. And don't again, everyone who wants to participate will get a chance. I think we have plenty of time for audience participation. So, okay, I'm gonna have you guys again going over here. Sorry, keep going back and forth. So if you want to just move over, scoot down that way a little bit. Yep. Yep. Sorry, I know I keep moving back and forth. I should just stand over here. All right. All right, cool. Sorry. All right.
Sorry, it's a long tail.
All right, cool. I like learning first names. You got Racken? Okay, cool.
Racker also works.
Racken? Okay, cool. So, Racken, how would you, so I'm gonna have you do an action pose. So how would you interact with the environment around you if you have someone taking a photo of you? Oh, okay. That kind of, so this is actually interesting because he interacted with the environment around him, but he's still modeling. So I just want to also note that like, there's not really like, it's not really like binary between modeling and action. So sometimes you can mix the two of them together. In fact, that might actually be a majority of the poses. If you're someone who really likes to interact with you, but also really likes to model for poses. So this is technically action, but I like that you still like took the chance to actually model for a picture. So yeah, very cool. All right. So
Sorry, my bad.
cool. No,
Yes.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Cool. Oh my gosh. So you got like that is literally a scale suit.
Yes.
Literally. Wow. I'm impressed. Okay. So how would you do an action pose? Ooh. You look like you're getting angry at this person. They're like calling you a funny name. You're like, you're not a real fursuiter, you got scales on. Yeah. Cool. Oh yeah, you guys are look like you're about to break out and fight. I don't think that'll be good.
Or
Yeah.
aggressive hugging, I guess.
Yeah. That's usually what it goes to anyways. Aggressive hugging. No furries actually fight. Just kidding. Really passive aggressive hugging. Alright, cool. Alright. Cool. And what's the name over there?
What?
Could be awesome. Plot. Alright, cool. Show us an action pose. Oh my gosh! Oh, Mountain Dew! Oh, he's serving. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's great. Yeah, chug. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, so actually, yeah, there's two ways in that he's using props. He's using a chair to rest his foot on there, you guys can see, and then he's also chugging at the same time. So two different ways that he's interacting with his environment around him. And yeah, very cool. Very cool, and also, once again, very dynamic, you know. It really isn't hard to be dynamic when you're interacting with things, because you're always generally going to evoke that body motion just from touching things and standing on things. So yeah, thank you guys. All right, we'll get, let's see, show of hands who hasn't participated yet. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so about 10 people. Okay, yeah, let's get 3 more up for action, and then we'll do something interesting after that. So okay, sorry, raise hands again. Okay, okay, so I see a blue dragon in the back there. Yeah, let's get you on up. Let's see. I'm gonna get you up right over there. Yeah. Yep, you right there. Yep, I'm looking at you, sorry. One more person. Let's get you purple hair. Yeah. Cool. Alright, cool. Ooh. Solar. Cool. Alright. Would you be willing to do an action pose first? Oh, that's adorable. I'm gonna call that the I'm a rebel in high school and I just got detention. Yeah, that's awesome. It's really, it's so funny just again with action poses, just how easy it becomes to like really sink in to like a certain characteristic or attitude like that. And it might not even be how you're trying to come across, but then you look back at pictures like that later and be like, wait, that was actually really cool. I kind of looked like a high school rebel a little bit with that. Or maybe I just look cute. I just look cute no matter what. So maybe I'm just being too dirty. So thank you. All right. Check with you, Scarlett. All right. All right. So give us your action pose. No pressure. Well, actually, okay. So again, this kind of runs in the realm of modeling, but it is cool because like you're still like resting a lot of your weight on the table, and so this makes it a lot easier to turn around, like what you're doing, and getting really good. Like you get like kind of a back shot, and then you also get like your face in there, and then you get also like a twist of the body. So this is very like diva energy type pose. So again, if you really understand like what it is you like value wise, and you really know how you want to perform in that, then like poses like these are like absolute fire. They're amazing. So yeah. All right. So Logan. All right. Cool. So give us an action pose. And again, no pressure. Oh, okay. Man, I've been in line for 4 hours to get my badge. Please let me get my badge. Please don't close the line. Please. I've been sweating for 4 hours in this thing. Oh. I'm going to eat my tail if you don't give me my badge. Great stuff. Yeah. Cool. So, yeah. All right. Again, round of hands. Who hasn't? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've seen 7. Okay. Okay. So if you haven't gotten a chance to participate yet, why don't you guys come up? I don't know about that. I don't know if I love this act. No. All right. Yeah. So why don't you guys maybe spread out a bit? We're gonna have maybe a little bit here. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah. Why don't we? All right. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in a line a little bit. So if you guys can maybe make a little space back there, and then whoever's up here is gonna do pose first, and then we'll just go down the line. So, yeah, why don't we start with you, Red? So here's what we're gonna do now: is they're gonna strike a pose, and you guys are gonna have to guess whether it's a model pose, an action pose, or maybe something in between. So. Yeah, does that sound good to you? All right, cool. Well, whenever you're ready, strike a pose. All right. So what does it look like to you guys?
Action pose.
Model.
Yeah. So this would be more in the lines of model, because this is still very personality type pose, and at most it's like they kind of are sort of interacting with the plush. Like they might look like they're about to eat the plush.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you want to do that unless you're really hungry. Yeah. 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 So that could kind of indicate a level of action, but it's generally more in the realm of model still. So yeah. Model poses tend to be more common, even though they tend to be the more challenging in some ways. But yeah. So and yeah, that pose too. Actually, if you want to do that pose again really quick, maybe you're just doing. So yeah, a lot of bend in the knees there. Really great for really close and focused shots, and yeah, a lot of scary danger energy going on here. I love it. But yeah, awesome. So yeah, just gonna take a picture. All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah. So actually, if you want to sit down so we get a little more space here. Yeah. Thank you. All right. You're next. All right. Cool. So yeah. Careful. Oh, no. You're looking very intensely at my iPad. Do not eat the iPad. Very curious about what's going on. So, thinking more.
Model pose?
Yeah, definitely a lot more action. They're interacting with the iPad. In this case, the iPad is the prop. Very curious on what's going on. What is this magic thing? It's not even plugged in. Wow, technology, right? Yes. Awesome, thank you. Okay. All right, we'll get everyone up here really quick first, and then we'll go down to this line. So, yeah, go ahead. Okay, I'm already seeing quite some interesting things here. Oh no. Oh. Okay.
Oh no.
Darsh. What have you done?
What?
Okay. Do I need to call security?
I am security.
Oh no. Oh, guys, I don't think I can come back. I don't know this. Okay. So yeah. So this again, this can typically actually, okay, I'll ask you guys in model or action.
Both.
Yeah, kind of a combo of both, because it's you got the other Fursuit head, so there's definitely a story going on here. but this can still kind of work in the realm of model. Except the way this is generally going to make you look like is that little maniacal. But that's great. It's okay. All right. All right. Oh, wow. Very adorably about to hit me with that chair. I don't know how to feel about that. All right. So.
Action pose.
Yeah, very actiony. It's also, once again, still kind of falls into the realm of model. But okay, so one thing I'll say too is sometimes it'll shift between model and action depending on like the angle of which you're taking this at. Because like taking this from the front, it can look like a model pose, but coming from back, if you were to like take a picture from back here, yeah, and then it's like I'm right here, and it's like, what are you doing with that? That's gonna look like an action pose also. So that's also, again, to show how interchangeable model and action is, but how much you can really work with that. So yeah, thank you. All right,
I
next
like
up.
how your face sort of twitching almost makes it look like you're about to lose it.
All right, next up. Lynn, show us you about the pose. Very serious. Very stern. Yeah. Oh, are we getting dual photography here?
Oh.
Do you know how common this is in Minnesota? In my local community?
You going to furry migration?
Yeah.
See you there.
Oh yeah, I'll see you there. I'll be running the scale here there too. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's also just a funny thing you can do. If you're someone who likes to take photography in fursuits, you can just be like, you know what? I'm gonna take a photo of you. You don't get to just take a photo of me. So I guess to speed things up a little bit. So this also can, I would say this is actually a little bit more action, just because you have the camera kind of taking precedence over here, over the suitor. But yeah. So thank you very much. All right, cool. Give us a pose. Oh, shy. Very adorable. So, sorry. I would say this generally falls in the model, because there's a lot of personality going on here. I could say it can evoke a sense of a story, like you may be like, oh, why are you shy? So again, pretty interchangeable between model and action, but this one leans more into model. So yeah. So thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I will note that mic is still on. Just letting you know. Oh, All-Star. All right, so again, a lot of verticality here. Great for taking really vertical photos. A lot of height, really good for composition. And I would say once again, very close, very in between model and action. I would say, I would actually say this one kind of falls a little more into model. Well, kind of. There's always a lot of things that, like, it depends, like, circumstantially. So, but yeah, great pose nonetheless. So. I don't think poses are giving you guys ideas. So it's not like, oh, I need to copy this pose exactly. It's like, oh, but maybe I can try something like this sometime. Maybe something similar. So I hope that's also giving you inspiration from watching all these fursuiters come up and pose. So, all right, show us a great pose. Oh my gosh, it's a dragon, and they're actually scaly. Whoa, that's amazing. Yes, love it. Yeah, so this definitely is action. This is like, oh my gosh, look at that. That's amazing. How spectacular. Spectacular. Oh my gosh. I just made up a word. Spectacular. Furtacular. Scale-tacular. Great pose. Cool. Oh my gosh, are you a boar? Oh, can I hug you? Oh, I love when I see species that I hardly ever get to see in conventions. So awesome. Show us your pose. Oh my gosh, the boar is hungry. Oh, I've been waiting to eat all day. Oh, I'm so hungry. Munch. Yes. Great. Again, great action and modeling once again. Sometimes they just merge so well together, and they just make great. That's why, again, props are so great for that. Like, in fact, like, if anything, what we're learning from this is like really learning how to interact with your environment around you. Once again, is really going to put a lot of weight into those poses, and you're gonna look back at those pictures. Be like, wow, I remember that. That was really fun doing that. So, great pose. Cool. A few more left. All right. Show us a pose. Oh my gosh. For me? Yes. I've always wanted to marry a Fursuit. Oh, yeah, that's sweet. So, yeah, that very sentimental. Definitely falls into action. I would say maybe. I was being like, yeah, it'd be kind of awkward to like do that as a pose and like do like a stranger in public, but I suppose, yeah, we can be fun. So yeah, great, awesome. All right, cool. Last few. So give us your pose. Ooh, look at some movement going on there. Awesome. Yeah. A model pose. Actually, you know what's really great? This kind of pose is the body motion is outward. So it's not just like side to side or up and down. We're going outward. So this is great for really taking perspective focus shots. Whenever I see fursuiters pose like this, I like to get really close up, so I can put a lot of emphasis on the pause, but then you'll still get like a really good shot of the fursuiter's head. So this is really great for like, in the artist world we call this foreshortening, where it's like the arms and the hands are a lot closer to the head, and so you get a lot of 3D in the picture. So it's great, again, great for photographers too, so we know about that. But yeah, also great for fursuit poses, so thank you. All right, last one, okay. Wow, that's cool hair game you got going on there. That's awesome. All right, show us your pose. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's a lot of body movement going on there. I like that. So again, this is a model pose that can be really good at various different angles. So like taking this from the front, you get to see a lot of that body, but once again, you get a lot of that perspective if you were to take it from like over here. So again, this is something, again, no for photographers, but also, again, really great for posing because you open up a lot of that opportunity for photographers. So thank you. All right. Wow, that's perfect. We just need time. So how many of you guys like that? How did that feel? Yeah, you guys have fun? Awesome. I'm glad. I appreciate you all showing up. The last thing I'll say is we kind of touched on it a little bit, but fursuiting can be really fun and it can be really inviting. One thing that's really going to help with that is having people to share that experience with. So even if maybe you showed up here, you don't know many people, or like you're fursuiting, you don't know that many people, or you don't really know how to get involved in stuff, I would really encourage you guys, maybe find ways that you can get connected with people, find people to share the fursuiting adventures with. the stress of performance in posing is going to lower a whole lot more when you're doing it with others, because then it becomes a collective effort. And it's also going to really make the experience last in the long run, because I guarantee you the things you're always going to remember with fursuiting, with going to places like this, is the people that you share those memories with. So I'm really thankful that all of you guys came once again and took the opportunity to participate. It was really fun seeing all of you guys be so creative in your characters and really dig into it. I appreciate it. So that's pretty much it for the panel. With that being said, if any of you guys, fursuiters, would like to get a group photo, I think that would be lovely to do. I think we'll do that maybe outside the room just so we can clear out here. But otherwise, thank you all, and have fun and have a good rest of your time.